Hello and welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to be painting a small landscape painting in oils on a 10 by 8 inch canvas panel. This is going to be Impressionist style and there's going to be a nice little sunlit tracked area leading down into a darkened shadowy foliaged area with a little babbling brook by the side of it. So lots of like sunshine and shadows and lights and darks and some, of course, lovely, luscious, thick brush strokes. So I hope you enjoy it and let's get painting. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is give the entire canvas a coat of Galkyd gel oil painting medium. And then into this I'm going to actually paint, while it's all wet, some raw umber to give me a nice imprimatura stained canvas. And then that Galkyd gel, if I paint anything over the top now, it will tend to dry a little bit quicker because it's an alkyd formula. It's a wonderful medium to use. So right now I'm just putting in the basic shapes of this composition with some raw umber and a little smallish brush. And just using raw umber at the moment, like that. I'd go to a bigger brush. This is a large or larger bristle brush. It's a cheap one. It's just for knocking in the basic shapes, really, the basic colours. I want this to be a really dark background undergrowth area with this large tree there and a nice little babbling brook running into this dark area, and a little footpath here, a little track, dirt track by the side of the brook. And I'm going to have little bits of foliage now, just popping in some basic colours, just one or two different little difference in shades all the time. I'm using different shades and different warms and cools to create this level of interest. And I'll go over this again and again with different colours just to give me the interest. Now I want this bluish colour here, there and there, because that sets the tone for that little dark area. And put some of these colours elsewhere in the painting as well, just to harmonise the entire thing. I'll go a little bit yellower with areas that are in the foreground. They'll have more colour in the foreground than they will in the background. They'll get more blue as they go into the background. So just putting the basic shape of this tree in. It's an old gnarly tree. I mean, I'm not quite sure about the shape. It will change as I go along. I'll put some more branches in and just keep changing the shape until I'm happy with it. Put some light areas on the tree there just to basically give me some idea of shape and form. And add some warmths in there too, some oranges and reds, which all create a lovely sort of a warm feel to it. Now I'm going to do this grass here to the right hand side, this little grassy hill or hillock, but it's not going to be green. It's going to be like sun bleached grass. So it's going to be really quite light and bright, like that. And then it'll harmonise then with this footpath, which I'll put in here. It's just a little dirt area leading down from the grass into the little babbling brook. So that's basically the shape of the tree there. I'll put some of those colours elsewhere. I keep doing this just to harmonise the entire painting. I'm going to put some little stones here, some little rocks and things as it leads down into the water. And I'm going to paint the underneath of the water, the ground underneath the water first. It's going to be lovely and warm. And then when I put the blues on top, the cools, they'll really show up as being like underwater. So I'll just put some blues in there. It's Impressionist style, remember, not doing detail. Put some darks in there as well. And I will keep going over some of these dark areas because sometimes I feel they're not quite dark enough. So just go over them once or twice like this until I'm happy with the level of depth. And also the shape of the tree, which I will change. Like that. And just keep moving paint around, keep adding little bits here and there. And I'm just going to pop in this little fence post here. And a bit of darkness on one side and the shadow coming off it. That's the basic shape. I will refine this as we go along. The same with these stones here. Just keep putting some darker edges on them so I can put the highlights on later. Like this. And different colours in there as well. Put some mid-tone colours. Put some over here as well to balance it up. Now I'll put some blues in again just to give me an idea of the shape of the river. And highlights again on the stones. Going with a smaller brush now to do this. Not tiny by any means, but just slightly smaller. That's giving me the impression of those rocks now. And then some luscious strokes. Bold strokes. Don't forget to be bold with your mark making, your brush strokes. You can have finesse here and there where you want it to be, where you want that finesse, but for the rest of it, try and be bold. I'm just going to put in some light areas to show this post has 3 dimensions. So it's got the light on one side, like that. And just mix up a lighter colour here, because I want to make that post stand out against this grass here. So that should be a little bit lighter. And you just keep adding in all these little marks, and they all add up. Each time you're putting layers of marks on, the whole painting builds up, bit by bit. So just more highlights there. Put 1 or 2 on this tree. They look a bit bold, but they will change as I progress through that painting, through that area. They won't be quite so stark. Some more reds in there just to change the shape of that tree. Put another branch in here. And I'll put some warmth in that little post there as well. And I had 1 or 2 little bits elsewhere. Now I need to get that a little bit more bluish tone up there. A bit lighter still. Again, little marks. Be careful where you're putting them. Consider each brush stroke and each colour before you apply it. So this blue is going to really show this river. Make it look like it's got water, babbling water in it now. So I'm putting these darker tones in of blue first. Like that. Maybe even darker still. here and there. And I'll put some blues in this post and shadows as well, just to... They tend to make shadows a little happier when you put blues and purples into shadows. And brighter, makes it look like sunlight. So I'm now putting some highlights now into this water, very loosely, where I want those highlights to be. I want to have like a little waterfall running. It's full of little waterfalls. It's babbling brook, so lots of little waterfalls. There's going to be one there. So I'll put a little highlight along the top edge and then drag the paint down to make it look like it's falling down and create the movement of the water. Some more highlights on these stones here, these little boulders and pebbles, and little marks elsewhere showing the texture, and little highlights here. I'm going to put some dark in there as well, make it look like there's little cracks. I'm not using a fine brush for that at all. I'm using this same bristle brush. So re-establishing those darks again, where I think they need to go darker. Blending of that tree there into those darks. I'll re-establish some of those darks in the river. You can see how that warmth underneath that river now looks like you can see through the water to the base of the riverbed. And it's just with impressionism. They just creating the impression rather than studying detail, doing too much detail. I'm just going to put some foliage in this tree here just to make it look like it's got leaves on without actually painting individual leaves. I'm just putting basic shapes in of different greens to show where the lights are being hit by the sunlight. Like that. A few little greens elsewhere to harmonize, including in this dead area of grass. So I'm going to put some little grass strokes now in with this dagger brush. Some little fine lines. It's amazing what sort of lines you can do with this brush. Just put some grasses there. Do some lighter ones like that. And just put them and do how many you want to do, really. It's up to you. I don't like to do too many. I need to have some highlights on this post again. So with the same brush, dagger brush, just put in some highlights, and that brings that to life now. And I'm going to put some grasses in around the base of this. That's it. Just a little bit here and there. Makes it look like it's actually in the soil now. And then a few little shadow areas on some of these stones with this same brush. I urge you to get one of these brushes if you haven't got one, because they're so useful in all sorts of ways. Now with a small brush, I'm just putting in one or two little dots of highlights on this water, and that should bring that to life. Like that. And a few on the stones, not many, don't go mad. Like that. And I'll put a few on the tree here as well, but I will adjust these in a moment. And a few little marks here and there once again into the rest of the painting. And while the paint's wet in that bottom right corner, I'll just scratch my name like so, and then with the same tool I'll just do a few marks on this post, and then with my trusty fork I'll do a few little scratches here and there, and that's the painting finished. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video and hopefully found it rewarding and entertaining. Let me know if you have any comments or questions that I may be able to help you with. And I look forward to you joining me on my next painting video. So until then, Have a lovely day and happy painting!